You gotta hand it to Hot Toys. They do blue characters very, very well. Let's take a look. Hi everyone, welcome to 1/6 Figure Focus, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Grand Admiral Thrawn from the Disney Plus TV show Ahsoka. Now this is based on the likeness of Lars Mikkelsen. It's $255, it's a pre-order product and it's due to drop, at least according to Sideshow, sometime between October next year and March 2025. So they've already started pushing out those windows, I suppose, those expected pre-order windows from 3 months to 6 months. Of course, this is not new. They've been doing that for over a year now. The first time I saw that was the evening that the Batman from the Robert Pattinson Batman movie went up for pre-order. So on that day, you had the regular version of the Robert Pattinson Batman, you had the deluxe with the modular base, and then you had the all-in set with the Batman, the base, and the Signal. Of course, the Signal was available on its own. That was the first time I remember they'd moved those expected shipping or release dates from 3 months to 6 months. Now it's obviously a lot more common, and now we're starting to see them creep into 2025. So yeah, they have been delivering a bit quicker now, but yeah, there's always going to be that kind of waiting game, but at least it gives us time to decide on what you're going to do. Are you going to pre-order straight away, pay it off? Is it a day one pre-order? Are you going to play the waitlist wars? Are you going to kind of pay attention to that? Are you going to get it overseas? Or Hong Kong based sellers, reputable Hong Kong based sellers? Yes, believe it or not, folks, they do exist, okay? Or, you know, what's the story? Are you just going to wait and see if this one possibly hits bargain bin? I don't know. I suppose that's each to your own. Do your own research, make up your own mind. We're all responsible adults here. Well, anyway, moving on. So this is Grand Admiral Thrawn, and seen, obviously this is from the I think it was from the expanded universe. I think the first appearance of this particular character, correct me if I'm wrong, in the comment section, was from Heir to the Empire, that novel back in, I think it was the 90s. And he's appeared in Rebels, of course, and he's appeared in, I believe, some comic books as well. But this is the first live action version of it. I gotta say, Hot Toys are very, very good at sculpting the older men, and they tend to get those head sculpts, the ones which have a few scars and wrinkles and stuff like that, the kind of, you know, weathered kind of faces, I suppose we'll say. They do them quite well. Now, if the character happens to be blue as well, they tend to kind of knock them out of the park. So if they're kind of older gentlemen and they have, their character has kind of blue skin, they tend to do quite well. We've seen it before with Yondu. They absolutely knocked that head sculpt out of the park. Cad Bane, okay, it's an alien character, but they knocked that one out of the park. And this one here, I do think that they've knocked this one out of the park as well. It looks fantastic. This is the first time I'm looking at these photos on a bigger screen. I've been looking at my phone there briefly over the last few days, but have been busy. But yeah, Grand Admiral Thrawn, let's take a look at these. I want to look at everything it comes with first. So $255. For a Hot Toy, that's reasonably priced, probably as good as you're going to get. I think the cheapest Hot Toy available in Sideshow is the Stormtrooper Commander, the one with the E22 blaster and the orange pauldron, first seen on the Season 2 of The Mandalorian. That's $220. I believe it's still there. So this is $255. Separate rolling eyeballs function based on the likeness of the actor Lars Mikkelsen. Comes with a blaster there, a holster, more than likely pleather. You have, I don't know what you call this, a tablet, his tracker. Yeah, kind of looks like a tablet, a kind of a Star Wars space iPad. I don't have the correct term, but let's just call it a tablet, some sort of a thing he's using for his strategy or tracking his enemies. You've got these boots. They've really got to stop doing that. I presume these are pleather. If they were leather boots, fair enough, but no, I believe they're just some sort of plastic or pleather. They don't look split cut either. A lot of Star Wars boots like that. I have the, I think it's DX23 Luke Skywalker Mando Luke behind me, and they got similar kind of black boots, pleather, not split cut. You got a basic, your generic basic Star Wars base. Of course, the white outfit, a bunch of swap out parts, and excuse me, what would you call this? A hologram of this his ship. I cannot remember the name, but is it a Chimera? Kind of a Star Destroyer, and it has that loop around there. That's a hyperspace loop as well. All right, like straight away, okay, he had a bit more of a belly in the show. Okay, I think people were kind of, I've heard people. I haven't read Heir to the Empire. I understand that this guy is supposed to be extremely intelligent, and he is a strategist, okay? And that's his thing. He's always like 10 steps ahead of his enemies. And that was from anyone who's read Heir to the Empire, anyone knows anything about Thrawn, that's the feedback I've got as well. He's supposed to be a more athletic as well. Granted, this is a Thrawn later on in his years, so he kind of had a bit of a gut, like, so, people get older. Even if you're extremely fit when you're young, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be extremely fit or in great shape when you're older. But I think people were definitely saying that he should be a bit more athletic. But in this one here, he actually does look slimmer because they haven't really put in that kind of, I suppose, a gut, whatever you want to call it, because the actor definitely had a bit of a pouch going on. Again, I'm just calling it like I see it. You see this sometimes as well in Season 2 in The Mandalorian when Boba Fett got his armor back. He definitely was carrying a few extra pounds, but then the figure, although it was beefy, it didn't necessarily have the same kind of dad bod or whatever. So, and for me, it should look like it looks like on screen. I mean, that's the whole point. That's why I collect these particular figures, because the standard is so high. 9 times out of 10, they nail the head sculpt and the paint applications and the tailoring and the proportions, stuff like that. They don't always get it right, but the standard is pretty high, and their kind of hit rate is definitely a lot stronger than their miss rate. But if the character has a gut on screen, it should have a gut on the figure as well. So maybe it's just this angle as well, we can't really see it, but he does look a bit slimmer. That's the point. Apart from that though, the head sculpt's on point. It's great you have separate rolling eyeballs function. I really like this kind of white, what would you call it, just his officer's uniform. Even just the simple things like the blue and red squares there, the little kind of plates on the shoulders as well, the belt. It's a pity that the boots, I imagine, are going to be made of pleather, and the same with the holster. Thankfully in Ireland we've got that cool temperate climate. It's not extremely roasting, it's not the humidity isn't high, it's just kind of in the middle, so never gets too hot, never gets too cold. Dust isn't an issue because we're not in a desert, so it's actually a good environment in my opinion anyway, from what I've seen for these figures. Once you're not, like, I have a few pleather figures, I've got some old figures, I've got that T800 police shootout scene Terminator. It's one of my favorite figures in my collection. It's currently downstairs in the movie Icons display. There's a short there if you want to check it out on the channel, where I show an IKEA Millsbow lit up and I have those movie icons. And that figure I bought second hand, but to be honest, like, it was funny actually, when I went to order it, I said, look, if I'm buying something second hand, I typically only go for figures that are advertised something along the lines of, okay, this is used, but it's perfect. It has everything. There's no parts missing or broken. It has the shipper box and the art box. And I throw out the shippers. My point is, the shipper has one function. It brings the art box to you, and then at that point I can discard it, especially like if it's a figure that I have no intention of selling. Typically when I buy things, they stay in my collection. Have I sold before? Absolutely. But that shipper has one job, in my opinion, to get the art box to you undamaged. My point is that when I reached out to this individual and I was buying it off them, I have a bunch of questions that I ask, and the guy got back to me and said, yeah, perfect, like new. It has been posed, but it's, it has the art box, the shipper, it has all the different accessories, and nothing's broken. And I said, so it's in good condition then? He said, it's like new, and he said, I look after this more than I look after my kids. They were his exact words, and when I got it, it was like a brand new figure. Total side tangent, back to this. So yeah, it has a pleather jacket, and I don't mess around with it too much. Thankfully, that's one, reposing all those pleather, you're going to run into issues if you're, reposing it once a week or something like that, I'd imagine. But yeah, possibly set and forget for some of these pleather figures. Anyway, yeah, this looks fantastic. I mean, look what we've got so far from the Ahsoka series. We've got an absolute amazing looking Hera. Chopper, which is a fan favorite, looks great as well. Sabine, and this looks great. The standard, if they deliver on all of these and that the actual product is as good as the prototype, it's shaping up to be a really strong line. These are the type of figures where as good as they look, my wallet is safe, because I didn't think the show was particularly good at all. But these type of figures, I'm kind of going, okay, maybe just like, pick one up because you like the figure, but at the same time I've no connection to Thrawn really. Now if I was the type of person, if I had read Heir to the Empire and I was big into it and you just want that representation of Thrawn, I completely understand why people would want to do that. But me, I don't have a connection to this particular figure, or Hera, or Chopper, or Sabine. Didn't think the show was that particularly good, so I'm kind of out in the line. However, if someone's looking at these and they're saying they didn't like the show, and then they're saying that this doesn't look good, I struggle to see how you'd say this, because this looks just completely like, looking at like objectively, like it looks like Lars Mikkelsen, The head sculpt's on point. The tone of blue, they have the V there in the head, the red eyes. I just think this looks great. They've done a great job. I wonder, can you pose it like that? Hands actually look a bit soft now that I'm noticing. There's more detail on the head than on the hands. That's a bit strange, and it might seem like a nitpick there, but maybe they do look a bit soft. They definitely look a bit plasticky. There's a few little details here in the knuckles, but definitely do look a little soft. And it's not really a nitpick. I mean, hands are part of the body, and there you go. So like, if you take a look at InArt, they're not going to cut the corner with that. Like, look at those InArt Joker hands. They had all the little wrinkles and stuff like that. They had the blood, they had the makeup and stuff on the hands. People, seamless wrists as well. So yeah, maybe again, prototype. We saw this again with the Dark Knight Rises, the CrossFit Bruce Wayne, the Bruce Wayne figure that came with the Dark Knight. It's up for pre-order now. It has the Dark Knight Rises armory and the updated, more accurate DX19 style suit. The hands were very plasticky as well. Grand Admiral Thrawn, that head sculpt, that is fantastic. They're just getting better and better. Separate rolling eyeballs function. Yeah, like, looks good to me. Sculpted hair looks great as well. Hopefully the detail will hold up as well. Like, I mean, at a quick glance, you'd have to double check to see if that was sculpted or rooted. Some of these very simple poses. He's an imposing character. Definitely is an imposing character. I didn't really see this highly intelligent strategist that everyone was on about. I mean, he had Sabine, he gave her a weapon, he let her go. I think that was lazy writing, to be honest, but he also couldn't find Ezra, and Sabine rocks up the road for a few hours, and bang, there he is, hanging out with the Ninja Turtles. Like again, no, cool character, thought the actor did a good job, but yeah, maybe victim to writing there as well. So all in all, I think this is a beautiful piece. Whether you're a Thrawn fan, an Ahsoka fan, whether you love the show, or you just collect because you just collect. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, I collect in one way, someone else collects. Everyone collects in a different way. I typically like to love the source material, love the character, and love the version of the character, but I did not like the source material. I don't have a connection to this character. Oh my god, it looks phenomenal. Anyway, so we're finishing up there. If you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, let me know if you're picking this guy up or not. You can also follow me on Instagram and on X. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.